everyone. Thank you for joining me for my Christmas cleanup. I have been looking on Pinterest for ideas and clever ways to introduce some organization and some other fun ways to declutter and clean up my house, particularly in the new year, as I think many of us do when the new year rolls around. And I came across this article about the decluttering mindset. And as I read through it, I had some really surprising clarity around what it means to have a decluttering mindset. And what really struck me was the idea that I am a victim of the clutter in my own house. And when I read that I'm a victim and that idea of being a victim to clutter means that I have a lack mindset, that's when the light bulb kind of went off for me. And I have a lot of thinking to do around this subject and around lack, because there is a contradiction for me when it comes to clutter and the idea of an abundant mindset. And I often in my own home will feel overwhelmed by, the objects that, we're surrounded by, and the cleaning that needs to happen. And as someone who, is managing a household, there are tasks that need to be done. And it's always kind of a challenge to find a way to make that easier, to make that smoother and, more productive, and how to use your time. And so often I find myself feeling like I don't have enough time to do things and I'll never get things done. And then you fall into that rut, you could say, of overwhelm, where you aren't accomplishing the things that you want to do. So when I was reading this article and it talks about the idea of a victim mentality, it really struck me because I've encountered this before, and it was in terms of the victim mentality of my thoughts and the experiences that I was having, but I never really applied it to how it makes me feel in my own home and in my life. I've felt like a victim in relationships and other circumstances similar to that, and that awareness has taught me so much about how I can change my thoughts around that subject or around that person or about myself in order to move out of that lack mentality and into an abundance mentality. But again, like I said, I'd never really considered it in terms of how I look at it in my own home. So one thing that I know that I love to do is I really get a lot of pleasure out of organizing. And this is something that when I take the time to do it, that it gives me, a sense of accomplishment and a sense of ease, and there is reward that comes from that actual act of organizing the things that we have. And so now I have to challenge myself to dig a little bit deeper into this idea of lack and abundance. And one of the questions, like if for instance I was ever given the opportunity to ask Abraham Hicks a question, I wrote it down a few days ago. I had this idea to ask about why is it that with all this clutter, like, why is there this dynamic, this sort of this clashing thought within myself about feeling overwhelmed by clutter and still not feeling abundant? And so the clarity that I am seeking around this subject, I feel like it is just out of reach for me at the moment. And so by diving into this and putting it out there and asking the universe, I feel like the answer and the clarity that I need is coming. And part of that process is finding this Pinterest article about this decluttering mindset. So I will keep you posted on how that unravels for me and what that ends up looking like. And in the meantime, I hope that you enjoy my videos where you just see me going to town on the house, getting down and dirty with it, and organizing the things that we surround ourselves with. And it gives me this great canvas to dive into my authentic voice a little bit more and speak my inner truth without you actually having to watch me sit there and talk. So I appreciate you tuning in, and you get to kind of see the before and after for some of the things that have been keeping me busy. I mean, this is how I spend my time, and so it is really fun for me to be able to combine, the daily routines and the tasks that need to be done in our house, and share the video and record the video and share the video, and then share the thoughts that I have around these subjects. So I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel that I have and like this video if you enjoyed watching this Christmas cleanup happen. And thank you so much for tuning in and being a support for me. Until next time, bye.